Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to dive into a skill that is absolutely essential for anyone who teaches kids: lesson planning. I know, it might sound a little basic, but trust me, getting this right is the secret to turning a classroom from total chaos into, well, a place that's actually captivating.
So to really get why a plan is so important, we first have to understand the problem it's trying to solve. And for a lot of teachers, that problem can feel like you're trying to solve a really tricky puzzle.
All right, have a look at this. Tawihui re de heim mausbrap u afek in the no young round lerna salscrum. It's a mess, right? It's all jumbled up, hard to process. And if you've ever been in a classroom with young kids that's just going off the rails, this feeling probably feels pretty familiar.
But once you take a breath and focus, the chaos starts to make sense. The real question is, what are the main problems you face in the young learner classroom? And that jumbled up mess is the perfect metaphor for what it's like in there sometimes. You're dealing with distractions, super short attention spans, and just all this unpredictable energy.
So, how in the world do you solve a puzzle like that? Well, the solution is actually pretty simple, but it's incredibly powerful: a well-thought-out lesson plan. This is the tool that brings order to the chaos and gives the whole lesson a clear sense of purpose.
Okay, so you're probably thinking, how can one simple document be that powerful? It's because a good lesson plan isn't just about managing your time. It creates this amazing ripple effect that actually benefits everyone in the room. Let's dig into that idea, that win-win for both the teacher and the student.
And that's really the key here. It's not just for you. It's a win-win for everybody involved.
Okay, so for you, the teacher, think of this plan as your secret weapon. It gives you a roadmap for your timing, sure, but it also forces you to build some variety into the lesson. And look at these last few points. It makes your goals crystal clear, it gives you a shot of confidence, and it makes you a better teacher over time. You're not just trying to survive the hour, you're actually leading it. It's a huge difference.
Now, let's flip it around and look at it from the student's point of view. You know that confidence we were just talking about? Well, it's totally contagious. When your students see that you're prepared and you know what you're doing, it gives them confidence, not just in you, but in the whole lesson. And that trust? That's what builds a great rapport and creates an environment where they actually feel safe and are ready to learn. That's the magic.
So, we know a plan gives us structure, but with young learners, there's this other huge piece of the puzzle we have to manage: the energy in the room. You can almost think of it like an energy equation that you're constantly trying to keep in balance.
And this quote from Jane Moon really just nails it. The big challenge is walking that super fine line between your students being so bored they check out and so overexcited that no learning can possibly happen. It's like walking a tightrope, right? So, to walk that tightrope, you need two key tools in your lesson plan. The first one is called a stirrer. Think of these as your high-energy activities, anything you do to get the kids up and moving around the room. And on the other side of the coin, you've got your settler. These are the exact opposite. They're the activities you use to bring that energy level right back down, to get students to sit, calm down, and focus.
And this right here, this shows you that balancing act perfectly. A stirrer is fantastic for getting kids engaged and burning off some steam. But you push it too far, and you've got total chaos. On the flip side, a settler is great for bringing calm and focus, but lean on it too much and, hello, boredom. Okay, so what are we actually talking about here? What do these look like in a real classroom? Well, here's a great little toolkit. For stirrers, you've got things like running dictation or a game of hot potato. For settlers, you've got quiet, focused stuff like word searches, puzzles, or just some coloring time. Seriously, just having a list like this ready to go, that's half the battle right there.
All right, so we know what these tools are, but the real secret sauce, the real art, is knowing exactly when to use them to make your lesson a success.
So, when's the right time to pull out a stirrer? You've got to be strategic about it. Maybe right at the start of the lesson to wake everyone up, or after they've been sitting and listening for a while. They're also perfect for getting kids talking and working together, maybe right before you give them a tougher task to do by themselves.
And what about settlers? When do they come into play? Think of them as your secret weapon for transitions. You absolutely need one after a big, high-energy game to bring the focus back. They're also perfect for wrapping up the lesson or right before you ask them to do something that needs quiet concentration, like reading or writing. So here's the bottom line. When you intentionally plan this rhythm of stirring and settling, you create the ideal space for learning. The goal is a classroom that's buzzing with engagement, not buzzing with chaos. A classroom that's focused, but never, ever bored.
And that really wraps things up for us today. It leaves us with a question for you to take back to your own classroom. Looking ahead, how are you going to use these ideas, the stirrers and the settlers, to balance the energy in your next lesson?